What's up, everybody? Nat here, and today is actually my birthday, and so I did something a little crazy, and I bought myself a Squier Bass VI. This is an interesting instrument because it's tuned like a bass. It has 6 strings. It's not like a 6-string bass. It's tuned in E standard, an octave below a normal guitar. The neck is much thinner than that, and it's set up very much like a Jaguar, and so it has the floating trem and the switches on it and stuff like that. And so last year I suppose, when I bought my Jazzmaster baritone, I was tossing around the idea of getting a bass 6 and stringing it like a baritone to see if that would work. I had a couple reasons I saw online that sort of led me away from that idea, even though there was several $100s of difference between the two of them. But I had a friend who was selling one for cheap, and I decided, you know what, why not try it out now that I don't have very much writing on it. I already have a baritone I like if I don't like the way the bass 6 sounds like a baritone. And I've seen a lot of people talking about this question online, but I haven't actually seen a whole lot of answers for it. So I am going to string this bad boy up like a baritone, and gonna do a quick play test through them both, and yeah, so cool. First things first, let's hear what this thing actually sounds like a bass. So you can see the fretboard is very small compared to a normal bass. This is a 30-inch scale, and it's very narrow. Like, this feels smaller than a normal. It's 6 strings, but it feels smaller than a normal bass headstock. So those top 2 strings sounds kind of goofy because whoever hears a bass go that high. It's got some effects on the switches. Let's see what those do. This is pickup only, neck pickup only. Oop, neck pickup only. Middle pickup only. Bridge. Real, like, plucky there. And then it's got this, I think it's a boost. Low cut there. Yeah, it gets a little wobbly up at the top strings. Yeah, I'm gonna put baritone strings on it now. See what happens. All right, so right off the bat, I can tell you 3 of the concerns I had that stopped me from getting this in the first place. First is I saw a lot of people say that the string length was going to be for a baritone, and this is going to be a lot different. This is a 30-inch scale length. It's a long guy. Number one, that's not an issue because the Jazzmaster is the exact same, has the exact same scale length. I think it's even the exact same neck. They feel the same to me. The headstocks are shaped the same. I lined them up and they seem to be the same. Second concern that I saw people talking about was the holes in the bridge, that the ball ends for the baritone strings wouldn't, because they're basically just heavy guitar strings, that the ball ends there wouldn't be big enough to catch the string because they're made for a bass. As you can see right there, that is not an issue at all. And the third concern that I had was the nut. Were the grooves in the nut going to be too big for the baritone strings to go? Because I basically, more or less gauge-wise, I moved all the strings just up or down a string if we're talking thickness. Each string is now about as thin as the string higher than it. And so is the nut going to be wide enough for that? It seems pretty okay. Like there's a little, they seem maybe a little, there's not really any looseness necessarily. Like you can see, maybe if I look real close, you can see that maybe you see more of the edge of the groove than you usually do. But it's not like it's not gonna come out while you're playing. So I am going to play this for the first time since stringing it up. I have not heard this. I have not played it. I have not done anything. So this is all live. We're doing it live. All right. I'm going to play the Jazzmaster first to set a quick bass line, like a sonic bass line, so you see what this sounds like. You know, not like a bass, not like a bass guitar bass line. See, this guy really loves those high chords, which is good, because so do I. Get some drop A going on. Yeah. And right now you might be thinking, Nat, that sounds great. Why would you want a different guitar? That sounds incredible. And the reason for that is that my main axe that I use the most is a Fender Jaguar. And I got this little guy right here that I am almost always moving. I'm almost always holding on to that guy. It is second nature to me. It is just as much of how I play the guitar as the way I strum. I even put an aftermarket Bigsby on my Starcaster. I am just a huge fan of tremolo bars, vibrato bars. It's actually vibrato, whammy bars, whatever you want to call it. And so my plan when I got this guy was to put some sort of tremolo bar on it, some sort of Bigsby or whammy or something. But if you look at this is an old, it's like the Dan Electro standard model sort of deal. It's just a really, I can barely see it from that angle. It's got like zero rise off of there. There's very minimal in its connection to the body, and it's incredibly low. And so if I wanted to do any sort of vibrato bar, it would require pretty massive body work, which I didn't want to do. And so the Bass 6 has that already, and so it felt easy enough to try that instead of trying to mod this bad boy super hard. So I know I said that this was going to be the first time I heard and played it myself, but I did a whole playthrough video with it, and it was my guitar channels were off in the mixer, so terribly sorry for that. So this is a little more guided. So you can hear right away that like it's a lot less cagey and rattly on these high strings. It actually likes them a whole lot. Likes those high chords. Likes them a lot. Okay. Trying to remember what I played on the Jazzmaster video. Yeah, let's do some of this drop A stuff again. Yeah, all right. All right, I really love this. That I can do my shoegazy chords on that. If I was in the right, if I had the right tuning. Yeah. Biggest thing, there are some really sharp, really high, some highs that are kind of wild. Especially if I have overdrive on. I think a lot of that's just going to come down to tuning the instrument. And I have a EQ pedal that I run when my baritone's on. And so just going to figure out where that is going to land. But yeah, so first impression, I like it a lot. I don't think I would have regretted buying that in the first place if I would have bought that instead of the Jazzmaster that I did. I think I probably would have been pretty happy with it. A few things, I'm just going to need to figure out how to EQ it a little more, learning the specific tones of the pickups, things like that. I have an EQ pedal on my board that I use whenever I have my baritone on, and a lot of times when I am not using my baritone because I forget it's on a lot. But just going to have to fine tune that a little bit. Overall, I was really impressed with the frequency response considering that these are bass pickups. Basically, I think, I'm not actually totally sure. I haven't looked at the specs before I bought it off my friend. Not too deeply anyway. I of course looked at the specs. I've been obsessing over getting this since I sent him the money the other day. But yeah, I feel like tone-wise, action-wise, it has to be set up, of course. Like, I just got shipped through the Midwest in the middle of December, and so it's got some temperature things to take off. And but other than that, I think I'm really happy. I think there's one thing to do, and that's to get some more of this, find where I put this floral contact paper and put it on this guy. Maybe there's two things to do. Okay, so it is a different day now. As you can probably tell, I've changed clothes and trimmed my beard up. I had actually edited and posted this video and was just consumed with an idea, because I was going to put the bass 6 strings on the Jazzmaster and see how that ended up. And at that time, I couldn't do it. The string opening on the bridge was a little too narrow to fit the low E string, and then even if I could, the string post up in the tuner machine was also too small. But I was just obsessed with this idea, and so I was able to wrestle it through, like wrapped it around my fist and like shoved down on the horns of the guitar with my feet and like pulled it through. And then I actually broke a pair of needle nose pliers, broke the handle right off, trying to crimp the end of the low E so it would get into that tuning peg, and I did it. So let's see how it sounds. So this time it is a real blind test. I have not plugged this in at all. I have only played the strings, which feel, just as good as the bass 6, because again, it's the same scale length. But here we go. Okay, so the one thing I'm a little surprised by is that these are not, the pickups here are like custom made for the baritone, so I wasn't expecting them to have quite the low end that the bass 6 would have, but it is, turn the reverb off. It's still a little sloppy. That's one of the biggest criticisms I see with the stock strings that come on the bass 6, is that the low E is a bit too thin to really intonate properly. But I'm gonna switch from the neck to the bridge pickup. Let's do both pickups. high octave is nice. It's got a little sharpness on those. String noise is a bit sharp. Really though, that sounds. Okay, so let me preface this reaction to that with the disclaimer that I really only played the Bass 6 as a Bass 6 for almost as long as you saw in the video. I didn't really mess with it too much longer than that before I took the baritone strings off. I did put the Bass 6 strings back on because later that night I had some friends coming over and two of them play bass, and I was like, they're probably going to be disappointed if I just got a new bass and they can't play it. So put it on so they could mess around a little bit, and then put baritone strings on the next morning. Really, it was a fast and loose, but that play-wise on the neck feels just as good as the Bass 6 did. Electronics aren't obviously suited for a Bass 6. It wasn't designed with being a Bass 6 in mind, and so the pickup arrangement and that low cut knob, especially the switch, especially, that's like one of the big things that people look for in the Bass 6. It's one of the reasons that bright, plucky, plinky sound that a lot of people want when they get a Bass 6. And so you can still get pretty bright with it, but you know, there are just a couple things that probably wouldn't be there. I am probably actually going to leave the strings on the respective guitars I put them on, because I really like the way the Bass 6 handles as a baritone. I love having that trem bar. The pickup arrangement actually works pretty well through guitar tones. I've been working on EQing it a little more through my rig, and then I don't really need two baritones, so I'll just leave the Bass 6 strings on the Jazzmaster. I might swap the necks though, because I don't really want to break another pair of needle nose pliers every time I want to put a new string on there. But yeah, answer to the question, can you string a Bass 6 like a baritone? The answer is yes, and I personally would recommend it. If I could go back in time and just buy a Bass 6 instead of the baritone, I think I probably would have. A lot of the issues that I had tone-wise in figuring out how it would run through my gear, almost all of those I had same with when I got the Jazzmaster, and so it's not that big a difference as just buying a new guitar. But the biggest thing is that the price differential, especially on the secondhand market now, is just insane. So like the Bass 6, you can still get it Sweetwater brand new for $500. You know, Guitar Center has them in stock and all over there. You can find them on Reverb for around the same price, maybe a little more. But then the Jazzmaster, they don't make anymore, and so those are on Reverb for friggin' like $1,000 and up. I've seen some for $1,400, and the price for the difference in price compared to the difference in quality just is not there. It's not worth another $700. So if you came to this video trying to figure out if you could save $700, the answer is yes, you absolutely can. You might want to mess around with the pickups a little bit. I'm maybe thinking about swapping the pickups for something else. I'm not a huge... I haven't done a bunch of that. I'm not a huge like pickup guy. Like I'm kind of a beginner there, so who knows. But other than that, yeah, let me know what you thought. Drop a comment, especially if I helped you out. I'd like to know that I'm helping people find good tone for a whole lot less money. And yeah, like and subscribe and check out our music on all the socials. And yeah, cool. Peace.